On yet another horrific day of gun violence in this country, it's hard not to focus on all the problems plaguing us. But 2 weeks after a shooting shook our own community, we cannot lose sight of the helpers. Today, Kent Erdahl sat down with 3 doctors who helped Children's Minnesota navigate the single worst shooting call they have ever received.
Children's Minnesota staff know what to do when hope is in short supply.
This is where our most critically ill children, patients come.
As a kids' level 1 trauma center, they train for the unthinkable.
The tiniest of masks up to an adult-sized mask, because that's what we do here.
But no amount of equipment or training could quite prepare them for the level of trauma that came through their doors 2 weeks ago.
It just hits very differently.
Dr. Rachel Weigert says they had 5 minutes to prepare for the arrival of 5 young gunshot victims from Annunciation Church.
As a mom and a physician and a gun violence prevention researcher, I was like, whoa, it's a nightmare. I mean, it's the thing that we hope will never happen.
But the feeling didn't last long.
You just have to snap into gear.
Quickly issuing a level 1 trauma call to staff.
There were at least 50 between these 2 bays and then the other 2 rooms that we have out there.
And it wasn't just staff at the hospital who showed up.
I got a text message from Val Whitcomb, who was one of our colleagues, that she was at home and she heard like 30 gunshots and there's a school nearby. And I knew that you guys were going to be busy because we train for this. We know that everyone's mobilizing. So I told my husband to get in the car and drive me down. And I, on the way down, was communicating to the ER staff.
One of Dr. Jan Argentari's first calls was to Dr. Tom Skrypak.
I live in the neighborhood.
Though his proximity to the scene left him with an agonizing question.
Do I go towards or do I go into work? I felt like I would be most useful going into work to help out there. It's a school I know many kids at. I know many families there. So driving in, I was emotional because I was hoping that I wasn't going to see anyone I knew.
Thankfully, that emotion eased as they got to work.
It's not hysterical in these situations. It's measured.
First thing I saw was the amount of people that showed up. Surgeons, anesthesiologists, the ER staff. We had child life specialists.
Remarkably, they also had extra help thanks to a training that happened to be taking place in one of those trauma bays.
So we actually had additional 9 nurses, trauma nurses on site, even before the kids came.
And it was one of several moving moments that kept all 3 of these parents going.
The amount of humanity that showed up was impressive.
I had families from Annunciation calling me and texting me to make sure I was okay. That's impressive to me too. That they are thinking about how we're doing. It's unbelievable to me.
I am in awe of these children. Pull shrapnel out of a girl's arm and her leg. And she told me, I probably got that when I laid down on the first graders. And I had been able to control my emotions until then, but then I just absolutely lost it. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing as a society? They didn't do anything wrong. They were just at school. I can't believe how fast they responded, and the kids said, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do because they practice this. It's not a tornado. It's not a fire. This is preventable, and we're letting it happen.
Despite her frustration, Dr. Weigert refuses to give up hope, saying she plans to go to the state capitol to advocate for change.
Well, I wish that we could just look at this as a safety issue. What are safety protections we have around our cars? If we can at least agree on the secure storage aspect, I think that's a great first step. Nothing can change if we give up. You have to keep going. You have to keep the hope alive.
In addition to the 5 young gunshot victims who came in on ambulances during that first wave, 2 others also came in later that morning. In the 2 weeks since, all of those patients have gone home from Children's, including Lydia Kaiser, who was among those kids who helped shield her classmates. Now, today, her parents sent us a message writing, yesterday was Lydia's 13th birthday. Our family was grateful to have her home for this big day. Lydia is in good spirits and is recovering both physically and emotionally, thanks to so many of the surgeons who helped remove the bullet fragments and operated on her brain. to the staff in the emergency department and intensive care unit. We were blessed to be in their care. And that, of course, is something that we have heard from so many of those families who have spoken in light of this tragedy. Thank you for the helpers.
Well, because of them, so many of these kids survived. And through all of this, watching those first responders, those doctors get emotional about what they've seen has really hit a lot of people, I think. This is what they do day in and day out. And to be this emotionally shook it's been impressive to see. And it speaks volumes to how bad this is.
Yeah, Rachel said that's because they trained for this.
Yeah.
But they hope that they'll never have to see it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sitting down with them. We appreciate it.